Hello Chassos, welcome to another video, and we are finally back to making videos after unfortunately our PC started dying over and over again, and we have found the problem. The culprit was an overheat in some of the components, but we have fixed that, thank fuck. And now we are back to teaching you all the things that we can do from the codex. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about was sort of an evolution of some of the movement tech that we've been seeing with the Grundy Manoeuvre that Kyle Grundy showed on his channel and I made famous, which is really kind of awesome. It's a nice little feather in my cap. And also some of the new tech with the Mont car detachment that I've been thinking about, as well as some Kroot tech, which has been sort of rattling around in my mind for a little bit since I've been wrapping my head around the brand new codex. Speaking of the brand new codex, if you would like to win yourself a limited edition codex out of the Kroot box, as well as the awesome new data cards that come with it, we are doing a giveaway within my Patreon and YouTube membership. All you have to do is be a member at the $5 tier or higher by the end of April, and we will draw the winner to get that codex and that set of data cards from the awesome people that are making up the community within our Discord and Patreon and everything else. And if you would like to get yourself some coaching and learn everything from learning the game at the most basic level all the way up to getting yourself ready for a GT or a major on Tau or really any other faction, as we have with the Pantheon competitive team, a number of very highly ranked players which are able to step in and provide coaching for almost any faction in the game. So if you would like to sort yourself out with some coaching, head to links in the description for either Patreon to get yourself into the Discord or to my website where you can buy a one-off coaching session from there. Thank you very much to all of my patrons who make all of my videos possible. Let's get into the tech. Okay, so the first thing I want to touch on is the maneuver that we have been using for the last few months ever since it was unveiled from Kyle Grundy and myself. Let's have a look at how the Grundy Manoeuvre is going to exist in this new landscape. The good news is, if you were using this before, nothing changed whatsoever. You can use the Darkstrider in a Devilfish tech into Pathfinders moving around and everything else. If you haven't seen what the Grundy Manoeuvre is and you're sitting there going, Jay, what are you talking about? I will leave a link in the description to Kyle's video showing the entire thing. I will never steal views or content from Kyle, who initially came up with the concept. So go over there and have a look at that. But for anybody who's wondering about it, in any of the 4 detachments that come in our codex, the Grundy Manoeuvre is intact for all of it. So you can still use that. But there are some questions that come up with, well, what are some other things that I can do? Because a very popular enhancement that is coming within the Mont car detachment and has made its way into every list that I have written, Strike Swiftly. Strike Swiftly is an enhancement you put onto a Tau Empire model, and remember that because that's going to come up in a little bit. You pick 2 units within 6 of this unit, and if they don't have a scout move, you can confer a 6-inch scout move. Now, this is incredibly powerful because if we have, for example, everybody knows the breaches in Mont car are going to be amazing. They have an incredible volume of shots. They hit on 3s natively, going to 2s with guiding. They fully reroll wounds for when your target is sitting on an objective marker. So they are kind of like a known entity for these to be good. And the characters that join them are Cadre Fireblades, which previously in the Kauyon detachment, within the Index, and now in the Codex, again, these are going to be some of our best targets for some of these enhancements. Unfortunately, there's a few things that have a carve-out for no Kroot. Thankfully, that is not the case with Strike Swiftly, but I digress and I go a little bit too early to what we're going to be talking about in a little bit. Let's talk about the evolution of what will be this movement tech and how I'm planning to run a couple of the lists that I've run. Will be going this way. I will have, if I choose to not have Darkstrider, and a unit of Pathfinder. Probably not going to happen, but let's just say that one of my lists exists in that world. If I want to use Strike Swiftly, that ability, you must have somebody on the board holding that enhancement. This Fireblade cannot be within a transport. with his breacher unit. So then I hear you saying, okay, Jay, but then doesn't that make that kind of terrible? Well, no, because the breacher unit at base has assault on all of their guns. The Fireblade doesn't, but that's fine with the Moncard attachment as long as you've got assault in the unit, which they take gun drones. The breachers have assault guns. When you're guided, you gain the assault keyword. So that's pretty great. Now, one of the things that we were having to do previously for the Darkstrider tech is the Darkstrider would be in a Devilfish, and a lot of lists actually had a Fireblade and his unit. I'm not going to drag 10 breaches in here, but you would actually have them dismounted behind cover or somewhere safe, and you would have Darkstrider within the Devilfish, move his 7, and then in your turn, you would have these breaches. If they weren't able to make it 6 to get Holy Within 3, you'd have them advance. Because really, all I need is for them to roll a 2 on the advance, and that should be Holy Within 3. That is really, really good. And I wasn't even hard up against the edge of the wall when I was doing that. So them being able to advance and get into the Devilfish means that whatever's in the Devilfish can jump out and go where they need. If we have Darkstrider, say, nestle in here and go, cool, for the rest of the game, I have a 12-inch Deep Strike denial bubble going out from here. That's very powerful. I'm getting value out of this unit, and he's moved my guy forward. And then the breaches getting into here, you pose a question to your opponent of, okay, cool, my Devilfish here, I'm then going to be able to move, 12 inches and, maybe advance and still have dudes do whatever. You can use the Devilfish to move block, or you could just put it here, right in the center, and say, cool, you can kill this Devilfish. And if you can kill the Devilfish, I'm going to have about 20 OC. Get out on that objective, and you probably won't hold it from that point. Now, bear in mind that if you destroy a transport, they come out battle shocked, so that is a factor you have to play into. Having said that, they're having to, on turn 1, chew through a, T9, 13 wound, 3 up armor, probably with the benefits of cover because we've got a bunch of angles that are blocking off full line of sight to the Devilfish. We sit there and go, cool, I've got this unit for turn 2. Or even if I don't go into the center here, I could stage in here and go, all right, if you have any of your guys come up here, my breach is going to get out on the other side of the wall and just blow up everything on the other side of there. There's a number of very, very good options. So if we were doing that anyway with a dismounted unit of breaches, let me actually grab some more Devilfish. I'll just copy and paste one of these. And let's say this one is our Darkstrider one. This one, unit of breaches. This one, unit of breaches. And then we've got our humble little card of Fireblade just here. Now, what we're going to do, this is the next evolution of it. This is going to be our Strike Swiftly card of Fireblade. We have Darkstrider in here. This has a pre-game move. We will then pre-measure. And I did this on Jack's stream at Barnyard Wargaming. I'll also leave a link to that in the description of this video, where I've got a full video of me playing the new Mont card attachment, actually playing at codex points, which had me playing down like 300 points, and still a very close game, if that gives you any indication of how strong this list is going to be. But we pre-measure. So we go, cool, Devilfish just needs to be there. Or maybe I'll actually have him move up, because how far do I need to have 6 here? Cool, he can sit there. 6 from him is over here. So as long as you're there, cool. They are within 6 for both of them. Turn starts. Darkstrider does his thing, potentially going this way. Picking up a unit of Pathfinders, cool. You're both within 6 of me. Move. And move. Done. Then, on our turn, either we go first or we go second, doesn't really matter. If there's no Pathfinders in here, we just move up and we get in. If not, Pathfinders get out and do their thing. This unit, can I move 6 to get Holy Within 3? Probably can. Yeah, I'm 2.2. 2.5. And if I need to, because I'm going to be getting in anyway, you just roll an advance roll. just because you're not doing anything else and you're just jumping into a transport, that's an extra 3 inches. So we're able to move right up to the hull of this guy, and then they are inside the transport, and I just pull them off the board because now they're inside there. We then have 3 units that are pre-game moved. And the breach unit that was safe behind this wall then just advances out to this devilfish. Or, if need be, can actually advance to this objective, because don't forget, in Montcar we have an auto-advance 6 strat. So we go, cool, as long as I'm 12 inches from this, I'm able to get my breaches on there. Cool, man. That is the first iteration of the pre-game move tech. Let's talk about a new bit of tech that was not possible without a new unit. Now, at this point, Jay, if you'd be so kind, could you please bring up the Trail Shaper? Trail Shaper has a number of very, very cool abilities, and maybe put up next to them the Kroot Fast Stalkers. Now, this has been rattling around in my head for a little bit. Fast Stalkers have Infiltrate built in. The Trail Shaper, if you look at one of his abilities, it says, after you find out who goes first, you can redeploy this Shaper's unit and one other Kroot unit. Notice on Strike Swiftly, it doesn't say that it is excluding Kroot. It just says Tau Empire. All Kroot units have Tau Empire as their faction keyword. So, what we could look at doing is going, I'm going to save the points and not put in Pathfinders. I'm going to put in Darkstrider because he's great for his tech. Let's go that. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to just spread out my Fast Stalker unit as far as I can. Outside of 9, holding. Now, this deployment map isn't exactly the best one, but I'm just going to go, you know what? I'm going to be as obnoxious as possible. I am going to put these guys all across here so I'm blocking out the entire middle. I am going to abuse the 2-inch coherency as much as I can to have these guys. Let's move that back because that's probably way too close, but you get the point. We're 9 inches away. I know that we're not, but like, you get the point. And then we have a little dogleg on the end, so they're all within 2, 2 within 2, 2 within 2. Put him hard up against the crate. Put him there. And then he's just outside of 2, so move him in. But you get the rough concept. We go like this. We go like this on the other side there. We go like this. Cool, 2 inches. And we've just blocked out an enormous section of the board. And if we change deployment, actually, and go to, say, Hammer and Anvil, let's pick up this Fast Stalker unit and go, cool, 1, 9 inches away. It's just a little bit back. And then we do, again, the same thing. And we just go, cool. Now, before, we would have to worry about the 7-inch pre-game move of the Pathfinders. But with this, we're not going to have to. And let me show you why. So I've just blocked out this enormous section of the board. And really, I don't have to go this close to this side of the board just there, because 9-inch, nobody can set up there. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. He's not getting anywhere in there, and there's not 18 inches between my deployment and his, so he can't go on the other side of me. And now, he's going to have a hard time fitting in there. So, let me show you the tech. As long as I don't have more than 12 through here, but then I'm also factoring in base size. Darkstrider's unit there. And this might even facilitate us removing Darkstrider, depending on the amount of deep strike that's in the game. I think there's still going to be a huge amount, especially with Ret Carter. If we go into the mirror, we probably do want to have a deep strike denial, so I don't think Darkstrider's going anywhere. As well as that, like, Hyperphase Necrons are still doing quite well. Marines have their Incestors. The boys that come up within 3, the Incestors. They do that, and then they go home and have relations with their family. You know those Marines, the classic Space Marines. The Ultramarines get Ultra Depression because they have Ultra Incest. All that sort of stuff. You know, just casual Space Marine things. But anyway, I'm going to grab a Trail Shaper. Now, obviously, I don't have the exact unit. That's not on TTS just yet, so far as I've seen. But we just have this guy, and we're going to pre-measure again so that we're within 6. So he's going to be here, tucked in behind this, and using the building so that line of sight is not a factor. So, 6 inches from him there. He can be there. Cool. Done. 6 inches from there. These two are just barely going to not touch tips, which I know is a little bit of a travesty, but that is 2 within 6. So, the combo goes like this. We roll to see who goes first. Cool. I'm going first. Beautiful. I ain't going to redeploy shit. This boy maybe goes up with these guys, but maybe just stays back here as a backline objective holder. These guys are very, very happy here. They're going to move forward 7 on their turn and maybe move block, maybe charge. Who knows? Then he goes, all right, that's redeploys. Done. Pre-game moves. You pre-game move, you pre-game move. You already have it. So he's going to do his Grundy Manoeuvre thing, and he's going to go in there. Then he's going to go 6. Then he's going to go 6. And obviously, I probably wouldn't have put him here because of the building, but you get the point. I was doing the extremity of 6, not actual tactical gameplay. And so they've just pre-game moved, and then we go first, then we go bam. If we don't go first, we go, ooh, I don't want to have my, my boys just there coming out. So I'm just going to redeploy them and I'm going to pull the entire thing. Cool. They're going to go just nice and tight inside this building. They're nice and safe. Actually, no, you know what? We'll go here. There's nothing that's going to shoot them down this line because of this base blocking off all of that line of sight. I'm happy with that. Then for his redeploy, I'm just going to put him back. Actually, no, I'm not going to move him because I need to do pre-game moves. And this is the other thing, that you can actually have him, and actually, I'll finish off this combo and then I'll get into that. I've just realized something, and I feel dumb for not realizing it before, but I digress. He's not going to move. Pre-game moves. Okay, cool. I'm just going to go up into this building so I'm safe. Clearing those guys, obviously. He's going to go in here so he's safe. And this one is just going to come in here so he is safe. Cool. Cool, done. Out of, we don't know what this guy's points are going to be just yet. We've got to wait for the MFM to come out after about 2 weeks, I think, after the official release of the codex, which a lot of people have asked this. It will be after the codex is available for sale, not as part of a box set. So the Kroot box is not the official release of the codex. That is the first time we're getting our hands on it, but that doesn't mean it's tournament legal. That doesn't mean that the index has now gone away and we're just using that. It just means we get to look at it first, and then once it goes on sale itself, that's when the codex is official. And then 2 weeks after that, we'll have points. And at that point, it will be tournament legal. But anyway, for a tiny amount of points, I have just done a lot. A lot. And then, let me spitball to you, because we're good at pre-measuring. We're very, very good at pre-measuring. Because you know what? We're good chassos. We know what we're doing. We're all about it. This Trail Shape is going to join the Fast Stalkers. Because he can. And then we're going to go, cool, same obnoxious deployment thing. You saw what I did. You know what I'm talking about. They're going to be all the way out here. And then I go, okay, cool. I have found out who goes first. I never wanted to leave them out there. I never intended to leave them out there. I just wanted to block up this part of the board. So now I'm actually going to redeploy these boys. And I'm going to put them within 6 with the Trail Shaper in the center. Oh, no, that doesn't show. Oh, wait, that's Darkstrider. The fuck are you doing in there? But I put him in the center, and I've pre-measured so that 6 and 6. Because redeploys happen, then pre-game moves happen. Nope, I'm going to check that. I don't want to be wrong. Chelly, do you know where my phone is? Jay, make sure you cut this stuff. This would be really embarrassing to leave in. Hey Shas, Jay from the future here. When I was editing this video, I realized that I'd gone on this massive ramble about the pre-game abilities, and I realized that my hold on it wasn't as sure as I want it to be, and that's not because of inexperience or misunderstanding or whatever else. It's because my scientific brain kept saying, Jay, do you have a reference for this? Do you have a reference for this? Do you have a reference for this? I always want somebody to present me evidence, and it turns out that's me as well. I want me to present me evidence for things that I'm saying. And I realized that, and my understanding from pre-game abilities got sort of cemented from the stream that I did with Kyle Grundy, and we were doing a TTS example where we were doing, the Grundy Manoeuvre and how we would use it and whatever else, and I set up on one side, he set up on the other. And a claim that he made, unfortunately, has turned out to be wrong, where he said that, whoever goes first, they resolve all their pre-game abilities, and then I resolve all of mine if I was going second. That actually isn't the case, and I've looked up in both the court rules and the Leviathan mission deck, the exact wording, and I quote, players alternate resolving any pre-battle rules units from their armies have, starting with the player who will take the first turn. Alternate resolving units rules doesn't mean one player does all of theirs and then the other player does theirs. It is the player who's going first picks a unit, resolves that, and then they alternate to the other person and they do theirs. So we do have to resolve pre-game abilities one at a time, starting with the player who's going first. Now, in my opinion, one, it isn't actually that big a deal that we got that stuff wrong. Like, there's so many people who miss the exact wording on this, and the fact that I had to go through an app and 2 separate documents to be able to find this answer really just shows that there has to be a better way to do this. GW, please just start putting all this in your core rules. And if you put something into a mission deck, put in the app in the core rules section, just a small addendum, just like in italics or something, in the Leviathan mission deck, this changes to blah. And then somebody only has to go to one place in the app to find the answers that they want. But anyway, this actually makes it more interesting in my opinion, because if I'm doing everything all at once because I went first, then my opponent does everything all at once, there's no game to play there, and I actually lose something or my opponent loses something by, like, if I have all of my stuff ready to pre-game move or block my opponent's pre-game moves, but then I have to go first and I can't move anywhere and I can't do whatever, my opponent just gets a net win because we haven't resolved shit. Like, I've had to do everything and then he just gets to react to that. If we're doing it one at a time, you start opening up opportunities to play, because I've spoken about the deployment, forward deployment, scout moving war, that game within a game that you can play against your opponent and really has an aspect of skill expression. This actually, one at a time, starting with the player who's going first, has an avenue of skill expression where I might not activate a unit, that I need you to activate your unit just across from it before I do it. And then when I know that you haven't moved or you've moved somewhere else, then I might be able to change tactic or jump behind a wall or do whatever. It's actually much, much more interesting for us to go one at a time. So, to lock everything down for the video that I am editing at the moment, you put your stuff out there, you've infiltrated well, then you resolve pre-game abilities one at a time, which means that in the instance of where I'm talking about the Trail Shaper, hold off giving people that scout move because I haven't activated anybody that has a scout. And all it just says is start of the battle, which is generically when we're doing these redeploys and everything else. So because that's happening at the same time, we essentially get to just resolve them in the order that we want to, which I think is something that I was saying in my ramble, but I'm just going to cut it out anyway, because there was a lot in there in this journey of self-discovery. Also, I really hope you've liked the jokes that I've put in for Past Jay, because fuck that guy. He lives in the past. Anyway, you pick your Trail Shaper, redeploy him, then you pick your scout moves. But interestingly, another thing that I wanted to point out that I thought of today when I was editing this video after I finished work, and it was rattling around in my brain while I was at work. I kind of love that my job has moments where I have time to think and I can think about this stuff. But anyway, you can also, because the Fast Stalkers don't have a scout move, and when he's leading a unit that doesn't have a scout move, he loses the scout keyword. So he can actually give the Fast Stalkers scout. So he can stay with them, or if he's back near those Devilfish, he can give the scout move to the Fast Stalker unit that he's in, and one of the devilfish, and then he could choose to redeploy, go forward, and if you've, say, like screened out with Pathfinders that infiltrated forward, and he was back with that unit, and you go, cool, I'm going first, I am going to give these 2 devilfish a scout move, or 1 devilfish in my fast stalker unit, then I'm going to redeploy me right behind those Pathfinders, they're going to pre-game move up, and then my fast stalkers are going to pre-game move up, and we're going to have a 2-wave ready to go. And if he's a part of that unit, you can also have a second fast stalker unit that you go, all right, they're going to move forward first up as well, and then be on 2 separate sides of the board. And I've got, you know, the unit Pathfinders going, cool. And then I've also got these 2 units of fast stalkers, which are going to be positioned behind walls, halfway up the board, ready to go and then lock you in your deployment zone again. There's just like, the move blocking shit is amazing. If you want to learn this in detail, because it does take a while, get a coaching session from me. We did a session in the Discord before for Stormcrow, and he invited a lot of other people in, which he didn't have to do. It was really nice of him. But he opened it up to the Discord, and we showed move blocking and how powerful it is. Seriously, you want to learn that, become a Pantheon member or grab a coaching session or whatever, because it's phenomenal when you get to see it all as a rich tapestry. Anyway, that's the order of doing things. That's a little bit of extra tech. Back to Past J. Fuck that guy. Functionally, and I love doing this. What I hope the sound came through that. What we have done is just screened out an enormous amount of the board, redeployed them back, and we can actually, because this Trail Shaper is deployed in this unit as a leader, not only do they then have the reactive move and whatever, but we can actually take a second unit of them. So if we had 2 of these Fast Stalker bands, we put 1 on this side of the board, we put 1 on this side of the board, we block out everything, literally everything. And then he picks 1 of his and another Kroot unit to redeploy. No line of sight restriction, no range restriction. So we go, cool, you're going to come back here, and then this unit we're actually going to chuck into strategic reserve, because I think that's a good place for them to be to walk on later. Then we redeploy in here and go, oh, by the way, I picked that one because we pre-measured that, and cool, they're good to go. They then pre-game move, they then pre-game move, they then pre-game move. Pretty freaking good. I am loving some of the tools that we're going to have access to as part of this, and I hope that this ignites your brain with more than just big gun go boom, which is what a lot of people tend to think about with Tau. What they really sleep on is some of the ridiculous movement stuff that we can do. And if you're finding that you're struggling to win games because your opponent just swarms everywhere on the board and does whatever they want, maybe move blocking is something that you should have been thinking about and playing around, but just didn't. And it meant that your game was infinitely harder as a result. Where we do a lot of our best work when our opponent can't leave the deployment zone. And if you would like to learn how to do that, grab a coaching session with me. All of my patrons get the cost of joining their Patreon, $5 because unfortunately as an Australian, I still have to use USD's nuts. But you get that off any coaching sessions that you buy. So if you're looking at upping your Tau game and seeing how one of the best Tau players in the world does his thing, then absolutely jump in, do that. It supports me, it supports the channel, it helps me in pushing to do this full time. And if you would really like to up your Tau game, we have recently redesigned our Patreon and added the Join the Pantheon tier, which is for the people wanting dedicated minute to minute, whenever you need it, coaching sessions. These Pantheon tier members get basically anything they friggin' want, multiple sessions within the month, 3 lists built for them every single month. They have access to me whenever they want, just to message me and go, hey, help me out with this. One of my first members to join, Stormcrow, came back from a game, was feeling like they were beating themselves up a little bit about some of the mistakes. Even though they won the game, they just weren't feeling right about it. We sat on the phone with them for like an hour and were going through all of the things that they could have done, picking up on little mistakes with deployment or where he sent things where, or decision-making throughout the game, different scoring parts. And that is all the stuff that my Pantheon tier members get. They are the tier that is going to mean that I go from working for somebody else to being able to do this full time, which is very, very exciting. So if you would like to join them, head down, check out everything that you get in that Patreon tier, including a full personalized merch pack made by my beautiful wife. Thank you very much to all of my patrons who make all of my videos possible. They will be on screen now. You absolute monstrous chassos are keeping me doing this and mean that, like, my computer dies and I'm not freaking the hell out wondering how I ever replace this or fix it or get new parts or whatever else. I cannot tell you just how much stability that all of these incredible people have given me. And even if you're not able to become a patron or anything like that, but you want to support my effort to take this full time, do the things you're doing now, watch the videos, but also just engage with them. We are working within the algorithm gods and everything that they want us to do. So hit the like button, share it to people, chuck a comment down, even if it's just, hey, you're cute. Or don't. I'm not your dad. I hope you guys are really excited for this. I know that I am. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.